Today I'm here to talk about one of the important practice that is really important for newbie developers. It's called the code. It's 4 letters but really valuable. This is especially helpful for those who are just starting out, or maybe they have 1 or 2 years experience. Because trust me, a seasoned developer is already using this practice. So the code stands for 4 critical principles in the development. Let's break it down, and C stands for consistency. Keeping a consistent coding style is really important. While many newcomers might think it's only about making code readable, it's actually about making it easier to manage and update over the time. And here by consistency I mean a consistent practice in every aspect of coding. So you have to use the same naming conventions, you have to be the same format throughout the code base. So this is what I mean by consistency. It looks really simple, but it's really powerful. To illustrate this, let me share an example with you. So here you can see this code snippet follow a really clear, consistent naming conventions and a nice formatting, while the other is a mix of styles and no clear patterns. It's obvious which one is easier to read, understand and ultimately maintain. Consistency is a key here. And next step in our journey of code is O for optimization. Now this is where the things get really interesting, especially in the world where we live today. And trust me, it's not about how fast your code runs, it's about how much energy efficient your code is. You see, in a world increasingly focused on sustainability, the way we write our code can actually make a difference in energy consumption. Optimization your code means make it lean and mean. It's about writing code that does what it needs to do in the most efficient way possible. There was a time in past when everyone was thinking writing more code means more efficient developer, but that's not the case anymore. Writing optimized, efficient code means an efficient one. This could mean choosing the right algorithm that perform a task quicker or require fewer steps, thereby using less processing power. And less processing power means less energy consumed, which is not only good for your app's performance but also for the planet. So let me share an example with you. In the context of data centers and energy consumptions, the binary search method is significantly more efficient than the linear search, especially for the large data sets. This efficiency translates into faster execution time. Now let's talk about the D of code. It's all about documenting all the best practices. You might think writing code means a computer can understand your instructions, but it has one more aspect. A human should be able to understand what you have written, and in that case, documenting is really helpful. Personally, I'm not a big fan of writing huge documentation, but I believe 3 types of documentation that every developer should follow. The first is inline comments. These are the bread and butter of code readability. Simple comments in the code itself that explains the purpose of function, especially if the logic is complex. And the second is architecture diagrams. Visual representation on how your system is structured can be incredibly helpful. They offer a quick way to understand the overall system design and explain from where the data flows and goes to where. And finally, commit messages. So whenever you're ready to commit your code, please make a habit to write useful, meaningful commit messages and try to use atomic commits. A clear, concise summary of your Git commit, explaining the what and why behind a change. It's really helpful. There may be other type of documentation that you might consider. For example, README files, developers guides, API documentation, etc. However, I believe inline comments, architecture diagram, and Git commit messages are 3 most important type of documentation that a developer should focus on. Okay, let me share a quick example of good and bad commit messages. A bad commit message simply says bug fixed. On the other hand, a valuable commit messages will say improve user login performance by optimizing database query, and a ticket number in the parentheses. Hope you get the idea. And now let me quickly talk about E of code. It's all about error handling. Trust me, it doesn't really matter how senior or junior developer you are. Errors are a part of coding. It's not about how you find and fix the errors. It's how you manage the errors when the code is running in the production. Effective error handling is like having a safety net for your code. It ensures that when something unexpected happens, your application does not just crash and burn. Instead, it can either resolve the issue on its own or at the very least let the user knows that something went wrong in a very meaningful and helpful way. Proper error handling is also make your code robust and maintainable. It means you have thought about what if and you have planned accordingly. So whenever you write code or plan a program or write a program, just not focus only on the happy path. Spend some time to think about if something goes wrong, then what will happen. In the world of coding, how you handle the unexpected is what sets great code apart from the good. And now I have a bonus tip for you: clean code. By writing clean code, I does not mean a code which is efficient or clean is clean code. By writing clean code, I mean a code which is easy to understand, easy to readable, and easy to maintain in the long run. So if you are delighted by the concept of clean code and how it can transform your coding practices, I have got something very special for you. I have created a dedicated video on clean code. This video dives deeper into the principles of writing clean, efficient, and beautiful code. So if you want to continue your journey toward clean code, I highly recommend watch this video. Thanks for watching.